What up, YouTube? It's been a while. Rich, the return writer, coming to you here with a voiceover from Ocoee, Florida. This video was actually done on the last Saturday of Daytona Bike Week. Starting out the video there with a U-turn, guys. Kind of my pre-ride ritual. Get acclimated to the controls. And we are going to be heading over to Daytona to do some test rides on some of the baggers. We're going to be test riding the Indian, the Harley Davidsons, and whatever else we can get our hands on over there. Now, on this specific day, guys, we didn't test ride BMW, or we didn't test ride Honda Going 50th anniversary. Chris Caliente has already done a video test riding the bikes. Rich from Boots and Jeans Rider, there's nothing new on the 2025 Honda Going that wasn't on the 2021s and 2018 and up. So nothing has changed, but let's talk about it, guys. We'll talk about who I thought bought the best bang for the buck to Daytona as far as the baggers. So, guys, we're out cruising here. You know, I always say the comment section is where the magic happens, guys. I had a commenter ask me as I was doing my parking lot videos. He said, "Hey, rookie, show me an experienced rider that think that these parking lot drills involve safety." Now, as we are looking here, as we're backed up in some traffic here, guys, we have an accident here on the side. I don't see any cars involved. I can see some debris on the ground here. Seems to be the Harley Davidson in the back there. There's a Honda Going and look like 3 Harley Davidsons. I can see a gentleman seem to be consoling a young lady there. And again, man, don't know the incident there, but did see a couple of incidents at Daytona, especially during the test rides, that a little bit of slow speed maneuver in practice could have probably helped. So, as I'm going to respond to that commenter, as I met up with the likes of Boots and Jeans Rider here, Rich and Cake, recently did a video where they were doing the Twisted Sisters ride in Texas, and they actually had a gentleman in front of them that also went off in the Twisties. And you know, Rich is also an instructor here for the safety riding parking lot drills, and he do talk on his channel about how this stuff is relevant on day-to-day riding. And as we ride through this area here of Daytona, guys, this place got pretty crowded as the day went on. They didn't record a lot of that stuff, but slow speed maneuvers and riding is essential when it comes to riding in this kind of environment. We're going to talk a little bit about that as we see some, well, I didn't record, but some drops as the day went on. What we're doing here, guys, is we are getting over to the speedway here, and we're heading over to Harley Davidson as we look for some parking, and we are going to be test riding what was recommended for me to test ride, a new Harley Davidson 135. Sorry, ladies, seem to interrupt those ladies there as they were passing by. Cubic inch crate motor from Harley Davidson. Now, this motorcycle is supposed to be the clamor of the Harley community, but as we always see here, guys, Harley Davidson puts on a show. One of the biggest manufacturers, if not the biggest manufacturers here in the U.S. I don't know about around the world. And these guys were awesome. 800-pound bike there on the front, and this guy is treating it just like it's a little dirt bike. Anyway, let's talk about it, man. As we are talking to this young lady here that's getting me some instructions. She refers to this bike as Sassy. This is the 135 Harley Davidson cubic inch. I guess from the racing development of the baggers is a crate motor that they produce there with a stage 4. I think it's 133 horsepower with 140 something foot-pounds of torque. What she's showing me there is I'm moving off with the kickstand down, and the motorcycle is allowing me to ride in first gear. So I don't know if that is a flaw in this specific motorcycle here, or if that's common in the these Harley Davidson street glides or road glides. I know the CVO for a fact have a cutoff sensor, but the first thing I noticed when I start motorcycle up, guys, is that old Harley Davidson V-twin rumble that I thought was eliminated with the new Milwaukee 8 engines. Now, this is not the variable valve timing engine. I was told that was in the CVO. The clutch was a little short in the travel, but The V-twin shake coming from the world of sports bikes is something that I never really got very used to. And I remember the old Harley Davidson engines before that Milwaukee 8 really, it seemed to have some kind of accident there that might be involving an accident. I hope everybody's okay. But guys, when we roll the throttle of this motorcycle, man, we can actually feel the power that it delivers on this new 135 cubic inch motor. But I gotta tell you folks, bike felt a little rough for me. I always considered a motorcycle with this kind of modifications in it to be more of like a hot rod. You know, we always talk about the Honda Goldwing being smooth and Cadillac-like. I'm often going to look at these bikes as being more like the, you know, again, the hot rods is going to be more like the Hellcats. And so, yeah, when it comes to the smoothness of the motorcycle, I really didn't feel much of that. The suspension felt a little bit, you know, kind of rough also. You know, don't want to beat up on this motorcycle too much because apparently from what was explained to me, that is the characteristics of the Harley Davidson. You know, I often hear Robert Simmons in his videos explain to people that ride Harley Davidsons that if they don't give the bike enough preload, they're going to feel like the motor shakes, like it's cutting off, and it's one of the indications that the bike wasn't receiving enough throttle. But I got to tell you guys, coming from the world of sports bikes and being spoiled with the Honda Goldwing being really couldn't appreciate that ruggedness, that roughness of what people consider to be the characteristics of the Harley Davidson that makes it a Harley Davidson. Now, the bike did feel quite maneuverable for the little twisties here, or whatever you want to call this that I'm going through here in Florida. Bike felt great. Handling wasn't a problem. Like I said, the bike packs plenty of power when it comes to performance. And here we get to flex the muscle of that 133 horsepower, 135 cubic inch. You know, I heard one guy in the comment section say that he was waiting for Harley Davidson to produce enough power and torque. And what he did is got rid of his Honda Goldwing and he bought a Street Glide and a Road Glide. So there goes the Goldwing. But I got to tell you folks, there's such a different power delivery and feeling of the Goldwing that it's hard to make the comparison. Looking at this motorcycle here, we're going to talk a little bit about this motorcycle here a little bit later, because I was also encouraged when I talk about the roughness of the Harley Davidson to go out and test ride the CVO, the top of the line of the Harley Davidsons, all the bells and whistles. The other thing that I was disappointed with Harley Davidson there, guys, is that with the suspension adjustment, because I was looking to see where we could adjust the suspension, maybe make it a little bit more pliable or soft. And with the CVOs, apparently there's a knob on the side of it that you had to manually turn. So I was a little disappointed that, you know, especially at this place here, that looking at a $52,000 motorcycle, that it didn't come with adjustments for the suspension, especially with the big display that they have with all the technology that's now in this motorcycle. But when you look at the fit and finish of this motorcycle here, guys, you can see that Harley Davidson actually looks like a quality product. As far the display here again, guys, the TPI monitoring system without the motorcycle startup and running is right there. The motorcycle that I'm actually test riding here, guys, is a 121 pre-owned, I should say, 3,000 mile motorcycle. It's the 2024 CVO. Much haven't changed between the 2024 and the 2025. So I had this motorcycle here outside to be listening to it here, as we always hear. There's nothing that sounds like a Harley Davidson. We can say that about all the motorcycles. Every motorcycle has its own distinctive sound by its design. But yeah, folks, out on the CVO here, this is the 2024, 3,000 miles. This one was actually 30-something thousand. So not that $52,000 package. I could tell the handlebars was a little high for me, so that's something that would have needed to be adjusted on the bike. Bike doesn't come with a tour pack, no heated seats. So again, I guess we are paying for that Harley Davidson name, that premium look, the fit and finish of the motorcycle. Is it worth $10,000 to $15,000 more? To a lot of folks, it is. It's a Harley Davidson. But yeah, folks. So anyway, man, we're gonna jump on the Indian. Now, I did explain to this gentleman once I got back here at Harley Davidson that after the wife rode on the Honda Going, that once I crank this motorcycle up and she feels the shake and the vibration, that she will not be impressed with that Harley Davidson feeling, the V-twin feeling. Don't even know if she ever got used to it on even the Boulevard. The CVO 121. So there it is, folks. So now we're over at Indian and we are looking at the Roadmaster Power Plus Dark Horse. Indian has bought some smoke, guys. The Daytona, they have upgraded the package as far as the performance. They have bigger motors that produce a lot more horsepower with their Power Plus. When I cranked this motorcycle up, guys, it felt a little bit more refined than that Harley Davidson engine as far as the vibrations and that V-twin feeling. Throttle felt really nice and responsive. The clutch was a little bit more, gave me a little bit more travel that made me feel a little bit more comfortable. Now, Indian, guys, has come with some upgrades for 2025. They have the blind spot detection mirrors on the side. They have a rear end collision package in the back of the motorcycle also. Like none of the other motorcycles have. Of course, they have their little screen with display. The thing that was impressive is they also have, as we roll on the throttle here, guys. Wow. Yeah. Indian has produced, this motorcycle makes some power also. None of them is lacking power today on any of these motorcycles. Even the 121 CVO was pretty impressive when it came to the performance. But this is the lineup here with Indian. But yeah, on Indian suspension, guys, you can actually dial the weight of you and your passenger in, and the bike automatically adjusts for that. You know, I think at a price that the CVO is presenting, that they should also have something, that Harley Davidson should also have something similar to that. The Goldwing also have something, you know, where you can just adjust the suspension also with luggage, passengers, and all that kind of stuff. They also have heated seats, heated grips, and then bought the option of heated seats, heated grips, and even a cool seat. So here, guys, as we made the wrong turn, it was nothing to maneuver this big motorcycle as far as making a U-turn. So the bike felt quite maneuverable. Of course, it's not going to turn with the radius of Harley Davidson. We got the Goldwing folks coming back there. I gotta say, man, for the most part, Indian and Harley Davidson allow you to go out and test ride the motorcycles without being chaperoned. We're back here now, guys, at Indian, and I'll tell you, one of the things that I noticed while I was waiting to go out, and I think it was right here in this little turn, is someone also dropped one of the bikes there with a passenger on it. Right there in that corner. Also, guys, the parking lot maneuver just builds your confidence to have control of these motorcycles regardless of what you're riding. We'll continue to practice my slow speed skills. So now we're looking at the Honda Goldwings. There, the Honda to the front. That color was actually better in person than it was online. So you're looking at the lineup here, the Hondas, guys, the different bikes, the different colors. Was a little disappointed that they didn't give us more option in the colors. They have taken away the navigation system. Here we are with that color again. I forgot what they call it. I'll put it up on the screen there if I can see it online. And on the motorcycle here in the back, guys, as we're talking about drops and so forth, as you can see, if you can get the close up there, somebody also dropped this Honda Goldwing. This bike might be sold at a nominal fee because of the damage that was done to the bags there. Guys, put some protection on the motorcycles. Traction Dynamics offers something also. I added to my bike something called the World Mode Top Drop Guards. You're looking at BMW here. They didn't test ride BMW either because nothing has changed much on the 2025 BMW. At the end of the day, guys, I think it's going to be Indian that brought the most innovation and updates to 2025 on their package. The bike was smooth. The suspension felt nice. The performance is awesome. I think Indian, guys, is king of the baggers. Best bang for the buck in 2025. But anyway, folks, still think the Honda Going is the best looking motorcycle out there. Let's wrap it up here. Don't care what you ride, guys. Add some protection to your motorcycle. Get in the parking lot. Do the parking lot drills. The experts claim that's the one thing we should practice is emergency braking, and swerving. At the end of the day, it's best that you drop your bike on the concourse or on the parking lot and crash them out there in the streets. Rich, and I'm out.